Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Convention of States Indiana Live. I'm Dale Parrish. I'm the State Director for Convention of States here in Indiana, and I wanted to welcome you to our broadcast this evening. Let me bring on my co-host here is Ken Kashuba, and Ken is our State Communications Coordinator. How you doing, Ken?
Good, Dale. How are you?
Fine, fine, fine. Good to see you. Good to see you.
You as well.
Ken's primary duty tonight will be to monitor the viewer comments and questions. And Ken, I tell you, we talk about this frequently, obviously, when we review broadcasts. We are on a very, very positive trend, right? Well, I mean, we're getting a lot of comments, new viewers, and return viewers. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think our viewers are doing a great job of sharing the wealth here. Getting the news out, and we're starting to see some new people. It's always a good trend.
That's what we're working to try and do. Folks, our target audience here is we try to target Indiana, and we try to target those Indiana residents not part of Convention of States as yet, hopefully to entice them to join our movement. Now, of course, this broadcast goes out to beyond Indiana, and we certainly welcome anyone beyond the state of Indiana, but our target audience is Indiana. That's what we're trying to get to. So we welcome comments, questions, new viewers, return viewers. Everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome. Well, Ken, tonight's broadcast is number 164.
164. Moving right along.
And you claim that this is number 32 for you, right? That you've been involved in.
Well, you have it up there next to 164, so I'm claiming it, but you're apparently solidifying that.
So since I put it up here, then that's got to
makes it official.
That makes it official. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Just doesn't seem like it could be that many, but okay, if you say so. All right. I just want to make mention here that our national website is conventionofstates.com, and I see that roundtable coming up the fourth Monday of every month. That's not the correct date, Ken. I did not update this slide like I should have.
You're going backwards back there. That's a past date.
We've already done that one, haven't we? And that should be September 26th. I think I have that on another banner later on in the podcast, and I got the date correct on it, but I don't have the date correct on this. So the next roundtable, ladies and gentlemen, is coming up September 26th, and it's always the fourth Monday of every month, and it's basically at the same time, 7 o'clock, same time as this live stream broadcast. But our format's a little different. We do a panel discussion, and we address some very current, pertinent topics. I think our roundtable, Ken's been very successful. Our roundtable format. So
yeah, it kind of zeroes in on the hot topics, and we certainly have had our fair share of hot topics delivered to us. So,
and what did we talk about on August 22nd?
Well, we talked about weaponizing the government, or the segments of the government.
That's
weaponization of the FBI and DOJ, and I don't know, you name it. It seems weaponized nowadays.
Yeah, nothing going on there. Nothing to be concerned about there. No, not at all. So I don't know what our topic's going to be for September 26th, but I'm sure it'll be an interesting topic.
Well, tonight's Slido presentation might help us with that. We've got a question or two in there that might help us with a hot topic.
Do you? Okay. All right. Well, just to remind everyone, our theme this year has been what activism can I take through convention and states? And we're about building a self-governing army of activists nationally and certainly here in Indiana. So we started the year out talking about what are the activism opportunities for people in convention and states. And Ken, quite honestly, I thought we would get a new theme after maybe the first month or so, but
Yep.
it just seems like this theme has been with us so far this year, and I'm sticking with it right now. I think it's exactly what we're trying to do, right? So
I think so.
So now, what activism can I take? Now that can take many different forms. Could be a leadership position, could be a telepatriot activity, could be a rally, could be a lot of a social media warrior. It could take the form of many different possibilities or activities in the realm of activism. And one of those activities is what our special guest tonight is involved in. And we have with us a young lady by the name of Lisa Phillips. And Lisa is one of our regional events coordinators. Now, this is a new position that we've created this year. We have a state events coordinator, but we decided to implement regional events coordinators, of course, reporting to our state events coordinator. But we've got 14 regions set up here in the state of Indiana, and we don't have 14 regional events coordinators, but I think we have maybe 4 or 5 set up right now. But so Lisa is one of our regional events coordinators, and so we're going to bring her on, and you'll get to know her. We'll introduce her to you. You'll get to know her and learn more about what she's doing as a regional events coordinator. And just keep in mind now that this is a form of expressing one's activism through convention states. So that's what we'll do with our guest this evening. And Ken, you want to talk about your segment coming up here, Raise Your Voice?
Sure will. We have the popular Raise Your Voice segment, which Marengo will introduce for us. But that's our 3 questions, or at this point tonight, it's a couple of questions and a quiz again. That segment will come on. It's always a little fun to get the viewers' comments and interest on what they'd like to hear us talk about, and bring on special expert people to kind of help us expand our knowledge in a lot of areas. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and bring up the QR code for tonight that will show you can use your smartphone to go ahead and pick up on that, and that should be showing about now. The Slido code there, if you're not on a smartphone and just checking in at slido.com, is number 2700290. And that'll get you to the presentation tonight from Slido.
So if you're on a laptop or a tablet, you can go to that website, slido.com.
Yep, you can get there through that address, and of course, the easiest way is that QR code. That nice quick technology that Dale is learning about. Point your smartphone at it, and it'll take you right to it. It'll take you right to it.
Technology,
yeah. And that QR code will show up when we start the presentation, or before we start the presentation again anyway. So if you haven't clicked it yet, or if you lost your phone, or maybe you're on your phone, you can always get that a little later on.
Okay. All right. Great. So we got 2 questions and then a quiz, right? A quiz question?
Yeah, we have a quiz question, and then we also have a multiple choice, and we have a ranking question tonight.
Okay.
So
You know,
we're
I
going to try.
I think I've scored 100 so far on all the quiz questions. I'm pretty sure. You're not
100.
you're not keeping track, are you?
No, I'm going to start. If you say you've done 100%, I can think of at least one particular instance where you didn't have a clue.
You think so?
I think we can go back. We can go back to the tape, the recordings, and find that. But
and yeah, and you
we
probably
may have to have. You know what we'll do? Dale.
No,
I'm
no.
going to have my third party or my third party fact checkers go back to all the tapes and fact check you.
Your fact checkers. You don't have any fact checkers.
I've got a bunch of people that left Facebook that need a job. So
all right. I want to see this. I really want to see this. Tune in, folks, in the future and see if this really comes to fruition. Okay. All right. Well, as we said, in Convention of States, we're talking about activism and how you can be an activist in Convention of States and carry out your passion as an activist. So let's bring on our young lady that is our guest this evening, and we'll just bring her on right now. Hello, Lisa.
Hey, Dale. How you doing? Hi, Ken.
hello, Lisa. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Lisa Phillips, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lisa Phillips, and Lisa is one of our new regional events coordinators.
Yep.
And so glad to have her on board, as well as the other regional events coordinators. I tell you, we will get into exactly what she does, but I just want to tell you right now that, there was a time in Convention of States in the early days, and of course I'm old and I've been with Convention of States since almost the beginning, but back then there wasn't anybody to handle this type of thing. No, we didn't have any help in setting up events. And I'm talking. We're talking about information tables, parades, that type of thing, and town hall meetings, and we had to do it all ourselves. So the first step was to get our state events coordinator on board, and then step two was to bring on people like Lisa. So we're going to learn more about Lisa and what she's all about and her job and her as an individual. So glad to have you here tonight, Lisa.
Thank you.
Lisa, with all leadership individuals, I always ask them to tell us your COS story, the how, when, where you got involved in Convention States. So take it away, Lisa.
Okay. So my story started with Convention of States back during COVID, actually. I homeschool my kids, and I'm on the tail end of that. And with that, we are involved in lots of homeschool groups. Well, during that time, we had all these new families coming in, and our numbers tripled to what we could handle, and we had to start other locations. And so I started talking to these families to find out, who are you? Where are you coming from? And many of them were coming from California. They were moving to the Midwest. They were tired of the government overreach out there. They were locked in their homes. They felt like, as far as, they couldn't do church, school, all that. And some of them even said they couldn't go outside because they lived by a park, and the park was,
moving to Indiana. They were moving to Indiana. Really? I didn't realize that.
Yes. So we're getting some people back to the Midwest because they said when they came here, it was a breath of fresh air of freedom. And so they came back. And then we also had a group of families that came, quite a few of them, when schools went back into session because they didn't want their kids masked and they didn't want to go through all of that. And they also realized that some of their children learning online through public school, unfortunately, it didn't work. So they came to our group, and it made me sad to see those 2 years of time to where all these children were paying the price of what the government was doing.
Yeah.
And so that really got my heart and made me realize that, okay, I need to be a voice. What can I do here? How can we not only help these people, but try to stop what's going on? And so that's kind of where I got fired up.
That's where the fire was lit under you, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, good. And that was during so you've been involved a couple years then, right?
Yeah, a couple of years, just kind of looking around to see different things I could do, maybe where I could help.
Okay.
And yeah.
Well, we will, folks. We'll get into this a little later on in our interview, but Lisa's been exposed to Convention of States a lot longer than just the last couple years, but we'll get into that in a bit here. Okay. So tell us what a regional events coordinator does. What does that involve, Lisa?
Okay, so a regional events coordinator is someone that helps coordinate events in your region. And those are things like what you had mentioned previously, hosting tables at different events of 4-H fairs, of parades, gun shows, car shows, just anything where you can be in contact with people to get the word out and share the information of Convention of States. Our goal is to get more people to sign the petition, because the more voices we have, the more strength in our numbers. And so that's what these events are about, is just spreading the word, educating people on Convention of States, and getting the petition signed.
So, when we have an information table or a booth somewhere, we are actually enrolling people in Convention of States, aren't we? Yeah.
Yes. And the exciting thing for me, I like planning events. I like hosting and having people around. And so when I realized I wanted to get involved in COS and do more than what I had already known about, I got online at COS.com and read through all the different positions that they had for volunteerism and saw the events coordinator and thought, I can do that. That's something I can help and contribute to. So I actually talk to people that host these events in different cities and schedule them and set them up. And then the fun begins. I get to figure out how we're going to do the tables and what information needs to go out there and how it's going to be set up, and recruit our great volunteers that do a wonderful job coming and helping out, and just get the word out that way.
Well, what are some of the challenges that you face in this? And I'm going to give you a hint on one of them, because I do hear about this frequently. Being state director, the word gets back to me that sometimes it's hard getting people to help. Am I right?
Sometimes it is hard to get people to come out and volunteer, but I'm new at this, and I've only done maybe 3 events so far. And I'll give you an example of how rewarding it is when you do volunteer. We did a car show last week, and I met some of the nicest people. And not only that, we were able to get so many petitions signed in just one day. So it's very fulfilling and rewarding. It's a way you can give back. It's a way you can serve, and it's a way you can make a difference. You just have to be willing.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned some past events. Let's talk about some of the events that you've already done, and we'll get into a good one that's upcoming here very soon. But tell us about some of the events that you've been involved in already.
So our first event that I did this year was in July. We did the 4-H fair down in Bluffton. And that was a very good event. We were able to have a tent set up for about 4 days. And we talked to lots of folks that were very passionate about COS, which was really nice. And we had pretty good weather. We had a little rain, but it was mainly at night. So it held off, and it turned out to be a great event.
Yeah, I remember you had more than a little rain, I think. but that's, of course, that's part of the job, and part of what happens. It rains sometimes.
Yeah. Hey, our tent held up, so we were happy.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, and then my second event was, like I said, the car show we did down in Bluffton last weekend. And that was the first time we've done a car show in this area. And it was great. Like I said, wonderful, wonderful people, beautiful cars, which is great. But
Yeah.
people that are compassionate about what's going on in our world and wanted to talk about what's convention estates and wanted more information. And so it was a very easy thing to do. It was great. Worked out
Yeah,
good.
and you had great weather for that.
Beautiful.
For that one, didn't
Yeah.
you? Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
weather. Yeah. And they put us right kind of in the middle of the car show. So we had traffic flowing from every direction, which was great. The guy that organized the event is a Convention of States supporter. And
Oh,
so,
really? Oh, really?
yeah, so he was behind us all the way and would make announcements throughout the day, make sure you stop and talk to him. So, yeah, we were
Oh,
very
wow.
happy. That definitely will be one we'd love to revisit.
Certainly, positioning the table, finding the right location is very important, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times you don't have full control over that, right?
Right. Sometimes you just have to take the space that they're going to give you for that. And so if you can do something to help draw people in, that makes a difference as well. And so maybe having some things there for the kids to do while parents talk if you're at a family event or things like that. I think all that helps just to bring some attention to the area so people want to come by and talk.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, very good. Very good. Well, let's talk about then upcoming events, and you got a kind of a big one coming up here pretty soon, right?
Yes, our next event is Grable Fair, and that's September 8th, 9th, and 10th. And we will have a booth there at the fair with all of our regular things that we do and lovely volunteers. But then we're also going to be in the parade, and I'm really excited about this parade. We also did the parade in Bluffton during the 4-H fair, and that went great. We passed out flags and we passed out COS cards with the QR code so they can get on the website. And so we're going to do that again in Grable. And this time we're kind of ramping it up a little bit. And we're not only going to be walking in the parade, we actually have a float.
Yeah,
Yeah. And our float, actually, we just had some volunteers come over and work on it, and they did amazing. We're actually having George Washington cross the Delaware. So it's going to be a good one to see.
I know that's probably a first in the state of Indiana, Lisa, but I'd be curious to find out if any other state, COS state, has had a float in a parade. I'd be curious to find out whether we were the first there.
Yeah, I think we might be the first in Indiana with a float. I'm not sure about the other states. I know I have seen George Washington in another state, maybe at a COS booth here or there. But yeah, I think that'll be good.
Sounds exciting.
I think another state has done it. I think I can't tell you who it is, but I remember seeing something about it. I mean, it was on the back of a truck bed or something that some individual COS supporter built himself or herself. I think it's been done in another state, but anyway.
Yeah, so we'll be pulling the float, and then we're going to have probably 15, 20 walkers, we're hoping, to come out and pass flags out to kids. And again, our COS cards and information, and just help get the word out again and send them over to our booth so we can talk more. So
right. Now, for those of you that are not from the local area here, Lisa and I live in the Fort Wayne area, Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Grable is right near us, right in the northeast corner of Indiana. So a very small, predominantly Amish, a very Amish-oriented small town in Indiana, but always attracts a lot of people. This fair is generally pretty well attended.
yes.
So it'll be a fun day. It'll be a fun day.
I'll have to jump in and plug another event that one of our members is talking about, and let me put that up so everybody knows about this one. Diane Jones is talking about. For some reason there it goes. It's not.
Oh, I may have done it. Okay.
Okay, there it is. Says, don't forget, we will have a booth at Columbia City first Fridays this Friday at September 2nd. So
That's right.
there will be a booth at Columbia City as well. So,
And she's been doing that booth. I went over to that one a month or so ago. She's been doing that all summer long, every Friday. Or the first, it's only on the first Friday of every
first Friday,
month.
yeah.
But
So,
now, Lisa, that's an example of you weren't involved in that booth, right? The one in
No.
Columbia City.
No, Diane actually has been the one doing that one, but we possibly might be joining her this weekend or this next Friday as well.
Yes,
which would be
that's
fun.
what I understand. Yes.
Yeah.
Now that was, I remember the first one that I went to over there. That was an example of, she did not have a very good position where her booth was located, which once again, she had to take the position that was given to her. So I think she's improved upon that since then. But just another one of those challenges that an events coordinator faces is positioning the booth. So very, very good. Okay. So Grable coming up September 8th through September 10th, with the parade on September 10th, featuring George Washington on your float.
Mm-hmm.
And do we want to tell people who is playing George Washington?
Well, we could, but it'd also be a nice surprise.
Okay. We won't say it then. We won't say it. Okay.
have to show up to find
I
out,
was
right?
gonna say they need to come out and see. Yeah.
I'm not see. All right. Well, I wanted to say this until almost the end, because Lisa said that she's been involved in the last couple of years in Convention Estates. She's been involved longer than the last couple of years. Tell us about your family involvement in Convention Estates.
So Convention Estates has definitely been a family passion, I would say. And my husband, Paul Phillips, of course, is the legislative assistant at the national level now. And he started several years ago with Dale and has just gone up through. And that's where his heart is with the legislative part. And then I also have a daughter that's in college. In her first year as a freshman, she did the COS internship program. And before that in high school was a COS volunteer activist too, to try and get people to get some of our younger generation to join COS, which is real important. And then I also have a son that loves videography and photography, and he jumps in and comes along sometimes and does the photos for us and the videos. And he's in high school. And then I have one more in high school that also has been coming with me and being my muscle, helping me set up the events and carry all the heavy stuff for me. So I really appreciate that. So it's kind of turned into a family affair. So that's how I knew to check out COS. And when I started feeling that fire inside of, we need to do something, I checked the COS page. So.
Yes. Your family's been involved for a number of years now. And that is right. Paul, I first met Paul when I was a district captain and doing town hall meetings, and some meetings went well, and some meetings Paul and I were the only two there. So Paul and I go back quite a ways with Convention Estates. So yes, it's getting your whole family in. And your daughter, Maya, served as I think we called it Young Americans for COS.
Yes, that's it.
She headed up that effort when she was in high school, her last year in high school, and represented us at some meetings here locally of young people. So handled that very well. So
yeah, thank you.
So the Phillips family has been involved in Convention Estates for some time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's wrap it up here on a note of self-governance, because activism, expressing your activism is part of self-governance, really. So, how do you see this, Lisa, and what you're trying to do? How do you see this as relating to self-governance, which is one of the core values that Convention of States stands for?
So I feel like my role as being a regional event coordinator is getting events scheduled and things set up so we can talk to more people. And by being an activist, by talking to more people, boy, my heart sure goes out for those school kids. And even now in some of our states, we have schools, saying parents don't have the right to know on different things. And that's just wrong. Schools are not there to raise our children. Parents are there to raise their children. And so with that, I want to get more people to sign our petition and more people to understand that it's the power of the people and get those amendments made. So, that's the best way we can do self-governance and manage that government control is just getting more and more people behind us in our grassroots.
That's right. Growing the grassroots.
Growing the grassroots. Yep.
All right, Ken, any other comments or questions this evening?
No, not really. I agree with Lisa, and I think our schools, for the most part, have had it way too easy for way too long, and they've had free reign to do what they wanted to do, and as a result, I think we see where we're at because of that. And if there's anything that this movement was, obviously our grassroots movement was started, for obvious reasons of being able to have a convention of states. But I think, these last couple of years have shown us just how wrong our school systems have been, and just how bad our Department of Education is. And, some of the additional things we need to fix with federal overreach. So I think it points out pretty much, Lisa's heart is in the right place.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, good. Well, Lisa, thank you very much for coming on tonight. Thank you for being a regional events coordinator. I think you're doing a great job. Keep up the good work. So thank you, and I plan on seeing you in Grable coming up.
Okay, well, thanks, guys. I love being part of COS.
All right.
Good luck with that.
Thank you. Yep, Lisa Phillips. All right. Glad to have her on board.
Great lady.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Kent, let's take a break here. And we've got Rick Lyon has given us a segment tonight, a contributor, COS Indiana Live contributor segment called The Lion Truth. And it's on war. It's not related to what we were talking to Lisa about, but I thought it was a good contribution. Now, for those of you that maybe not familiar, we have certain individuals in Convention of States here in Indiana that that have that like to talk about or talk about certain topics of interest to them. So we asked them to become contributors, COS Indiana Live contributors, and to create a 3 or 4 minute recording of whatever they want to talk about. So these are pre-recorded, but I think you'll and we have a number of people that do this for us, and Rick Lyon is one of them. He calls it the Lion Truth. So this one's about war. So Ken, let's get going here, okay?
Sounds good.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rick Lyon, and I'd like to talk to you about a subject that's on all of our minds lately: war. Many things conspire to plunge mankind into war and bloodshed. Peace is not the natural tendency of the human race. However, peace is the social yardstick measuring civilization's cultural advancement and mankind's spiritual progress. Spiritually, we are created in the image of God, but physically, we are more animalistic in nature. Peace is the nature of God. Violence is the law of nature. War is violence carried on by the group. War is a reaction to misunderstandings and disagreements, to the thirst for power, or the need for resources. Peace depends upon civilized solutions to these problems and difficulties. War, for all of its horror and destruction, has also been a driver of civilization, which I know sounds contradictory. In the past, war would cause social changes and the adoption of new ideas. We enjoy a long list of innovations which were first wholly military, but later used for good. Medical advances, GPS, computers, disaster response, satellites, weather radar, all were created due to wars or rumors of war. The destruction of both the victor and the vanquished often led to treaties to prevent war. Look at Japan and America today. War had social value in the past because it imposed discipline, enforced cooperation, created organization, and stimulated innovation and invention. It rewarded courage and created leadership. Past wars promoted travel and cultural exchange. But today we have better, more peaceful methods of transport and communication. Trade and commerce are the greatest peacemaking institutions. It isn't good business to kill your customer or your supplier. Ancient warfare destroyed weaker or peace-loving groups of people. But today war destroys our best and brightest. It created heroes, but also widows and orphans. War made a few men wealthy, but caused abject poverty for thousands of others. Ancient warriors believed in a God of battle, but modern man has learned that God is love and the Father of all people. If you believe in the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of mankind, we should make war no more. Doctors once believed bloodletting was a cure for many diseases. No doubt they told the patient to follow the science. But they have since discovered the harm caused by such treatment. And so must the international bloodletting of war be replaced by better methods of curing the ills of the world's governments. War is strong medicine, and while it may cure some social problems, it often kills the patient. Do not make the mistake of glorifying war. Rather, consider what it has done for and to society, so that we may visualize better ways to contribute to the advancement of civilization. Old-fashioned war did select the naturally great men for leadership, but modern war no longer does this. To discover leaders, society must now turn to the instruments of peace, industry, science, and social achievement. People will never accept peace as a normal way of life until we have been thoroughly and repeatedly convinced that peace is the best thing for our material wealth and mental well-being. However, idealism can never survive if the idealists permit themselves to be exterminated by evil, corrupt, and selfish members of society. National survival, group survival, demands military preparedness, and only religious idealism can prevent the distortion of preparedness into aggression. Often the religionist must defend the helpless. Today, the nations of the world are ruled by people who have a lot of ideas, but they are sorely lacking in ideals. Socialism claims that man does not need God, but this godless philosophy, along with the greed of materialism, will only lead to unrest, conflict, suffering, poverty, and war. The Greek philosopher Rodan of Alexandria once said, quote, "There are times when I believe I must fight for the defense of my concept of righteousness. But all too often, when we battle for the right, it turns out that both the victor and the vanquished has sustained defeat," unquote. And that is the lion truth. Thank you.
Well, Ken, Rick always has some words of wisdom, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. It's another good segment. I did get a few comments. We have to work on getting the volume up a little bit on Rick's audio
Oh,
there.
really?
So had a few comments that people couldn't quite hear. It was the audio was low. So we'll have to get the audio up on Rick's segments
Okay. All right.
going forward. Yep.
Okay.
Sorry about
Well,
that. Any of those?
let's, yeah, I apologize for that. I wasn't aware of that. Okay. Let's go ahead and mention now that recently Convention of States has announced an effort nationally to end the FBI. And that's, of course, as the result. Well, there's been a lot of things that have contributed to this, but certainly the FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago was probably the thing that the straw that broke the camel's back. So we are officially engaged in this, and I would encourage anyone interested in pursuing this or joining this effort, go to inthefbi.com, and you can learn all about the movement, and you will have the opportunity at that website, you will have the opportunity to send a message to your state legislators and your federal legislators to express your opinion on ending the FBI. So, did I miss anything there, Ken? Do you think?
No, I think it was spirit. It was, the igniter was certainly the raid, but I think now that we've learned that the FBI has been involved with coercing Facebook into shutting down things on their end. I think at this point it's become pretty obvious that the FBI might be the only way to really start getting this thing cleaned up. We're
not talking about ending things that the FBI does.
No,
what
no,
they do.
I'm just saying that event, that learning about the fact that they approached Facebook to suppress the information before the 2020 election adds to the fact that the FBI we need to end the FBI, and how we go about that is being addressed there. Whether it's starting by defunding and then certainly eliminating it altogether or dispersing people into different departments. I don't think that at this point it's totally clear, but I think the people understand at this point that it's gone amok.
Yeah. So inthefbi.com, folks, that's go there and learn about it and express your opinion on it.
We actually have one comment on that, Dale. I'll put this up. This was from Michael Paisley. He said that.
I'm sorry.
There you go. You got a fast finger there. That's not the one I wanted. I'll have to get the next one. He said basically he did that, and he actually got 2 replies back already. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Good. Okay. I do want to mention to everyone that if you have a comment or a question, a thought after the broadcast this evening, you can contact us at raiseyourvoicecos@gmail.com. raiseyourvoicecos@gmail.com. We'll try and remind you of that once again before we sign off tonight. But that's the email address where you can reach us with any thoughts or comments or questions after the broadcast tonight. Okay. Well, Ken, let's get into our Raise Your Voice segment. And this is the viewer polling segment that Ken handles for us. So take off, Ken.
Okay, we'll let Marengo do that.
Okay.
Scan the code and join the fun. It's your turn to be heard.
All right. We're getting a little bit of lag at my end with that, getting that video down. But Yeah, Marengo, he always has the fun job of announcing this stuff, and he gets to wear a tuxedo. I'm envious, but we're going to go ahead and bring up the code one more time so that people can get their smartphones out, give you a little time to get the code so you can participate in tonight's polling. And that is going to be up here right about now. Hopefully there's no lag. There you go.
There you go.
So the QR code will get you to the poll tonight that you'll be able to join in with us and enjoy that segment. And then once we started here too, that QR code will remain on the left-hand side there on the column for you. So there's the code to give you a few more seconds if you get your smartphones dialed in on that. Get you logged in and we'll get anything started there for you. So with that, we'll go ahead and get our first question up. If everybody's ready for that. It's a ranking question tonight. And things are, there you go. We would like to find out, we'd like you to rank the following concerns you have as of today. You know, so much has happened in the last week or so. We'd like to know what is the hot topic? What rank these in a position that you see them you're most concerned right now. I mean, at this point, there's so many different things. I have a hard time keeping track of which one's my hot button. But so we'd like to find out what the viewers think. Is it the border? Is it the election coming up? The FBI raid? Or how about President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan? Is that something that's new on the radar? Or FBI's meddling with Facebook? That's the additional thing there. Whoops, look at that border jumping out there.
There's something new popping up all the time, isn't there?
Yeah, that's what we do these for. And it's changing a little bit again. Now it's back to Mar-a-Lago. So, you know, we've got a couple of things, and election fraud is still neck and neck with that. So and this is almost like a horse race, you know, Dale. Look at that. Got a different horse winning every week, you know?
Yeah.
Now it's back to election fraud. So, I mean, it's getting close. Obviously, November is coming, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that's some interesting polling results on those.
That is interesting. That's good.
Election fraud. It started out pretty much, with the border, and now the border's kind of fell back to 3. So we always like to know that. We appreciate the input there because it'll help us with future roundtables, which we invite you to join in.
We use this information when we discuss what our topic's going to be at the upcoming roundtable. So that's why we do this.
Okay, we're going to move on to our second one tonight. The second one is really a simple yes, no, or don't have the power to. Should the government be restricting the Chinese from buying up farmland in the U.S.? This is another topic, Dale, we haven't talked a whole lot about.
No, we haven't. Yeah, that's pretty clear cut.
China's buying a lot of farmland in the United States, and it kind of raises my ears. That's
concerning, isn't it? That is concerning.
And some are saying the government doesn't have the power to. So that's something I think we could bring up, and maybe we can find some farmer experts or some people from that might know a little bit more about the structuring of that, whether our government can actually stop the Chinese from doing that. But we'll have to see. But that was just a question I thought might pique some interest, and a lot of people are on board with that. So
yeah,
if we can get it done,
good one.
So again, that would not necessarily be part of government overreach, but if they had the power to do it, then I think part of the government's responsibility is to protect the American people.
Right.
And I think this is an area that it's our food supply, so it's part of protecting us.
Could definitely fall into that category. Yeah. Sure.
All right, we're ready for our quiz.
Yeah.
So we're going to have people join the quiz here. It's going to be a 30-second quiz. So you have 30 seconds to jump in on this. When we put this up, you'll have 30 seconds. And the quiz is kind of on an educational standpoint. And I should have waited a little bit more. It looks like people were jumping in there. So I'm going to wait a second here. There we go. Which amendment contains the following? And this is just a portion of it, but there's an amendment that contains the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. And it shall not be validated. Now, there's more to that amendment, but I'm we're putting it out to see if everybody knows which amendment that is contained in. And look at that. We got people jumping on there right now. Amendment 4. Okay, let's see. It looks like everybody pretty much is on board with this tonight, Dale. I think everybody knows their amendments.
Yes, I think they, and I think they're right.
They are absolutely right. It's number 2 there. So with that, I don't know if I have our
Yep.
think I can show that or not. No.
See, so my score of 100 continues in place. So.
Oh, were you scoring yourself on that tonight?
Oh yes, of course, yes.
I see.
So
you're batting 100 for tonight. We'll have to have those fact checkers get busy.
yeah, you'll have to get them busy on that. All right, good one, Ken. Good, thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's move on here, and want to just give you an idea of coming up next week now on COS Indiana Live. That'll be September 5th, and that's Labor Day. So we're going to take the night off, but we're going to be presenting a best of that night. And it's our presentation that we did on Convention of States core values. So hopefully we'll get this right this time. And so September 5th will be a best of, and that's our core values broadcast that we did. I think it was June 20th, I think is when that broadcast occurred. So with John Ackerman as our guest that evening. So that'll be September 5th. That'll be Labor Day. Okay. All right. And I want to mention one more time that our upcoming roundtable, I got the right date this time, and that'll be on September 26th. Our national website, conventionofstates.com. To join Convention of States, this is the first step you need to take, is to go right to that website and provide your information, sign the petition, and become a supporter of Convention of States. All right. Just want to mention the address, the email address one more time. raiseyourvoicecos@gmail.com. If you have any questions or comments after the broadcast this evening. Well, Ken, we got a little time tonight. Let's bring on Marengo Mike and let him tell everybody about constitutional sheriff, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, here we go. Marengo Mike. No. Want to do this down here.
Hello, and welcome to another Marengo Mike's Corner. Today, we are visiting our local sheriff's office to ask a very important question, especially with elections coming up this November. We wanted to ask our sheriff here whether he's a constitutional sheriff.
Well, thanks for coming by, Marengo. But before I answer your question, I believe it's important that the people know the definition of a constitutional sheriff. And that is, it's to keep the peace and to secure and protect the people of this jurisdiction from threats to their liberties, their livelihoods, and the peaceable enjoyment of their property. And that nature of the solemn oath requires that the actions of my duties, they must conform to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state. So to answer your question, yes, I am a constitutional sheriff because I believe the American people need to have the trust and confidence in their election systems.
Well, there you go. Another educational moment from Marengo Mike's Corner. And one question you need to be asking of your local sheriff. So, that'll do it for this month. Hope to see you again next time. From Marengo Mike's Corner, bye-bye now.
how did the volume sound on that, Ken? Do you know?
It sounded fine on my end. I think it was just back with Rick's segment there, the Lion Truth. I think we had two people that said the volume was a little on the low side. So
Okay. I see that there is. I'll pay closer attention to that in the future. There is a volume adjustment on these, so I'll try to be more aware of that in the future.
I mean, we can always turn Rick up in post, but his volume seemed okay. It's just if you can boost it on your end on the console, and it works.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, Kent, let's wrap things up this evening with one of our favorite acronyms, GOTC, and that's Get Off the Couch. So many of us in convention estates, we got to the point where it was just time to do something. It was time to get off the couch and get involved and to exercise self-governance, become an activist, and we all found our way to convention estates. So I would encourage everyone listening, if you're not a member of convention estates, we would love to have you as part of our family tonight. So Ken, I'm just kind of monitoring the comments section. I think we've hit a new record on comments.
Well, that's a good problem to have. And at this point, like I said, I think, we learned tonight that there are some more topics that we certainly can fill plenty of roundtables coming up. So I think overall, the get off the couch, I think at this point, there's so many Americans at this point that realize what's at stake, and we can't stay on the couch any longer. It's just that we have to. I think that the severity of it was realized, and people are looking for something that they can actually do other than go in and. I mean, voting is important. Now, don't get me wrong. We all have to show up in November and do our part and vote, as well as monitor and get involved with our local elections as far as being there to volunteer and participate there as well. But I think we're going to do a much better job this November of not only monitoring what's going on at our election centers, but I think the turnout is going to be tremendous. But on top of that, I think most people like ourselves wanted to do more than that. We wanted to get involved with something that we could actually directly affect our Constitution. And convention of states is the only way that we can do that. So.
Yeah. All right. Good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is a final for tonight's live stream. We've enjoyed doing this and bringing this to you. I just want to mention, and Ken, we got to start talking about this some more. We are developing a new podcast. And it's called COS Indiana Live Voices. We're going to, if everything goes as planned, we're going to implement this in September. So sometime in September. So be looking for more information on that. It's COS Indiana Live Voices, and it's going to be a podcast. And we're going to, the objective is to feature more of the dynamic people that we have in convention estates here in Indiana. Many of these that we've had on as guests on our broadcast like tonight, but we're going to do a podcast where we're going to spend a whole hour with these individuals and get a little deeper into what they're about, what they're trying to do. And I hope everyone will enjoy that and learn more about some of the dynamic people that we have in convention estates here in Indiana. So, and Ken, you're going to be with me on that, right?
Going to be with you. I think it's another thing that we can do that people can plug in anywhere, and you don't have to be in front of your computer or in front of your television set. You can listen to a podcast just about anywhere. So I think that'll be beneficial.
I might mention also that we already provide a podcast. And you can find it on anchor.fm I need to be doing some banners and we need to be promoting this all more. But,
Yep, you have to get those banners going. You could search on Anchor FM, but you can also search it on Spotify too. And,
yes,
find it there.
yes. And now the podcast that we have out there right now is basically just the audio portion of our roundtable broadcast. So it's just the audio portion. But of course, the other podcast we're talking about will be a recorded interview with guests that Ken and I are going to be bringing on. So you'll be hearing more and more about both of these, as a matter of fact, as time goes on. So thought I'd get a plug in there, Ken, at the very last moment. And we need to be talking about this more and more as we get closer and closer to our September implementation.
Well, I'll drop a line to Marengo. Maybe he can help you.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, get Marengo. You might see if the fact checkers want to participate in that too.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Once they dig into the old recordings, they're going to want to be part of that. So,
all right. Well, good night, everyone. Have a good evening. Thanks, Ken. Have a good one.
You too, Dale. Good night, everybody.